Welcome to Storyteller, where even the smallest voices can echo across kingdoms. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked down on someone just because they weren't as smart, or as wealthy, or didn't look like they had much to offer? Maybe you thought, they can't possibly affect my life. Well, today's story might just change your mind. Because every person, no matter how low or small they may seem, has the power to change the course of someone's life, for better or worse. So, gather around as we dive into the tale of a mighty merchant and a humble guard. Once upon a time, in a grand and glorious kingdom, there lived a jeweler named Dantila. But not just any jeweler. He was the most famous, wealthy, and talented in all the land. His creations were pure magic, necklaces that shimmered like moonlight, rings that sparkled like stars, and crowns that made kings feel like gods. Even the king himself was a fan. Thanks to his charm and glittering jewels, Dantila was welcomed into royal courts and luxurious feasts. He walked proudly through the palace gates, admired and respected by all. Well, almost all. Over time, Dantila's confidence grew, but so did his pride. And slowly, that pride twisted into something uglier: arrogance. And arrogance, as we know, is a silent poison. One bright morning, as Dantila strolled into the palace, he saw Gorambha, a lowly gatekeeper, laughing and chewing sugarcane, not moving aside for him.
How dare you! Move aside, you silly gatekeeper!
Dantila fumed, and in a fit of prideful rage, he slapped Gorambha, right there, in front of everyone. Gasps echoed. Gorambha froze. He was humiliated, powerless. But he said nothing. He simply looked down and whispered to himself,
"You just wait, Dantila. Even a gatekeeper can guard more than just doors."
The next morning, Gorambha was on duty outside the king's chambers. As the king stirred from sleep, Gorambha yawned, stretched, and mumbled just loud enough.
Poor Majesty. Doesn't even know Dantila sneaks into the queen's chambers at night.
The king's eyes shot open. Fury flared in his heart. Betrayal burned in his mind.
How could he do this to me? The king growled. I trusted him, honored him, and this is how he repays me?
That was the end of Dantila's palace days. Banned from the court, shunned by friends, his once thriving business began to crumble.
Why? What did I do to deserve this?
Dantila cried. Then, click, a memory. That slap, that guard, Gorambha. He had hurt someone smaller. And now, it had all come back like a boomerang. Crushed with regret, Dantila sought out Gorambha. With tears in his eyes and gifts in his hands, he bowed deeply and said,
I was wrong. I let pride blind me. Please, forgive me.
Gorambha looked at the once proud merchant, then smiled gently.
It's never too late to be kind.
The next morning, the king once again stirred from sleep, and there was Gorambha mumbling drowsily,
Poor queen. How can the king misbehave with his servant while she waits?
The king blinked. Wait a minute. I never did that. Gorambha must be dreaming out loud.
Pause. Realization hit him like thunder.
I've made a terrible mistake.
The king called Dantila, apologized with deep regret, and welcomed him back to the court. Dantila's reputation was restored. His business flourished once more, but more importantly, he changed. He never let pride rule his heart again. He treated everyone, high or low, with equal respect. And yes, he and Gorambha, they became the best of friends. Moral of the story: even the smallest person can bring down the biggest mountain. So never judge, never mock, never belittle, because you never know who holds the key to your rise or your fall. And when life knocks you down, don't just sit there and cry. Look within, learn from your mistakes, and rise again. Sometimes your lowest point can be your greatest teacher.